For Team 8, we decided to conduct a job analysis for the Information Supervisor position at RU Info. RU Info is the university's main information center and is responsible for answering a variety of questions from prospective students, current students, and general inquirers. These questions are answered via text, chat, phone, and email. For the Information Supervisor position, candidates are recruited internally from the Information Assistant position. A transition analysis is usually done at the end of every semester, in which the manager determines how many of the staff members are either graduating or pursuing new employment opportunities. Once this is done, managers are able to determine how many people they need to hire and promote to different positions. To determine who is eligible for promotion, a talent inventory is done to see which staff members are well trained, have exceeded management's expectations on various occasions, and have demonstrated leadership abilities throughout their time at RU Info. Now, what are some of the KSAOs that we are looking for with this position? We're looking for those who have demonstrated leadership abilities by taking charge and helping other colleagues when needed. We're also looking for someone who has excellent communication skills and handles all phone calls with proper telephone etiquette and remains professional at all times. And lastly, we're looking for someone who has the ability to resolve any issues that may arise within the office. Here's a breakdown of the relative time spent on each of the information supervisor's tasks. Clerical work, such as answering phone calls, texts, chats, and emails, account for 25% of their job duties. Supervision duties, such as assigning tasks to information assistants and ensuring that call center operations are running efficiently and effectively, account for 50% of time spent. And lastly, assisting callers and ensuring all of their questions are answered thoroughly through proper customer service, account for 25% of relative time spent. Today, we're going to interview Zeno to see if he is a good fit for the information supervisor position. We have put together a structured scoring key on a scale of 1 to 5. This scoring key gives a structure and eliminates any biases. Anyone who scores lower than a 4 will not be considered for the promotion. So, let's take a look at Zeno's interview.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Nitty. I'm going to be interviewing you today for the RU Information Supervisor position. I'm very grateful for your time and for you adapting to this new online interview process.
Thank you for being able to meet with me today, regardless of all that's going on in the world.
Alright, so let's just get right into it. The first question is going to be, describe a time where you had a heavy workload and felt overwhelmed. What did you do and what was the result?
I was working a shift over Christmas break when a lot of other employees had called in sick and a few employees decided to just skip work and not show up without any notice. This led the shift to being completely understaffed. Myself and a few other employees working that day were tasked with answering phone calls and keeping the wait time down. To combat being understaffed, I delegated the necessary and overwhelming extra tasks based on what I thought my fellow employees' strengths and weaknesses were. Together, we combated the calls and tried to reduce the long queue as quickly as possible. By delegating and splitting up the tasks and work based on the strengths and weaknesses we were able to identify, we completed the work at a much more efficient pace.
Zeno's answer would have received a 5 on the scoring key. He gave us a thorough answer with a real-life example based on his past work experience. Not only did his answer reflect his leadership abilities, but it reflected his ability to be a team player during difficult times. He also did a great job at using the STAR technique, which helped us properly evaluate his response. Now, let's see an example of an answer that wouldn't land Zeno the information supervisor position.
I pushed all of the work to my coworkers and continued with the work I needed to get done myself because I was almost out of time with my assignment. I checked up on the employees an hour later and found that some of the work had been completed, but certainly not all of it. The next shift had to deal with a long queue and extra work, which inevitably set them back on their respective tasks when coming into their own shift.
Zeno would have received a 2 because his answer demonstrates that he doesn't take initiative when faced with difficulties. Also, by stating that he usually puts off all the work on his colleagues, which results in tasks being incomplete, it gave us a bad impression. We would not promote Zeno if this was his initial answer.
Alright, awesome. Thank you again for your time. It's going to take us about 7 to 10 business days to get back to you. Have a nice night and stay safe.
Thank you so much for speaking with me today, and I'll be looking forward to speaking with you in the future. Thank you.